Hi there and welcome to this channel. My name is Cynthia Wakio and I am joined by Paminas. And we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic on toxic company culture and the role HR plays. Thank you for joining me and thank you for joining me, Paminas.
Thank you, Cynthia.
So when we're talking about a toxic company culture, what does that mean?
So when you talk about toxicity in any relationship, be it professional or personal, we are talking about a relationship where there's a lot of negative behaviors. So think about manipulation, think about conflict, constant conflict, think about backstabbing, think about office gossip. So think about anything negative that can happen in a relationship. And it's not any different whether personal, whether professional. But it becomes worse when it's professional because for personal, at least it can be one-on-one. But for corporate, it can be widespread. And these affect someone's mental well-being and even their productivity. So anything that you find out it's touching on someone's mental well-being and productivity, then that's where now we can say it's a toxic work culture.
So if we're talking about toxic work culture and we're talking to HR professionals, what role do they have to play in this?
HR, they have a very big role. Remember, they are the go between the management and the employees. So I have a few pointers on what HR can do to ensure that at least they either remedy the situation or they make sure that the culture doesn't become toxic in the first place. So the first thing is that HR should act as an advisor to the management, to the directors, and even to the staff themselves. Because these are, the HR are the ones who, they are responsible for the well-being of the employees. So we start from there. They act as an advisor, and here it's on the best practice, the do's and the don'ts. So that's for point number one. Point number two is now after they act as an advisor, they shouldn't stop there. They should come up with HR policies and procedures that will ensure that any interaction that takes place between employees themselves or between different levels, it is professional enough. For example, let's talk about what happens if someone hasn't performed. Do you just call them, shout at them, call them names? No. So this is where a performance review comes in. You take someone through a performance appraisal process. If they haven't performed, you give them feedback. It's written feedback. They know what they need to improve on and such a thing. So that will only happen if people know, if management knows that these are the steps that we need to follow. And that forms, it brings a lot of clarity such that I know, oh, okay, if I'm not doing well, it's not that I'm not doing well as an individual, rather it's because I'm dropping the ball in one or two areas and my manager has highlighted and I can be able to work on those areas. So apart from coming up with the policies and the procedure, the other one is ensure that they act as a role model. Why? Because people, the other managers, they're looking at how HR is behaving. What are they doing? And then whether it's the managers or the employees, they'll be able to follow from, they'll be able to pick on their behaviors, their cues, and behave the same. So for me, I would say, in fact, they should be the ambassadors, the culture, good ambassadors of a good culture. So whether it's when they're disciplining staff, letting staff go, hiring, doing interviews, all that, they should make sure that their behavior is above board. The last point, I believe, ensure that they mitigate, the toxic culture, because it's quite interesting. When you bring people together, people, they are bound to be crashes, they are bound to be a difference of opinion on how things needs to be done. So HR should be able to mitigate. And the way to mitigate that is being very proactive. So for example, do job satisfaction survey and get to find out what are people thinking. Conduct exit interviews. Also, people will tell you, oh, this is how I found corporate staffing. These are the things that you can improve, A, B, C, D. So that will be based on the feedback that they'll be getting from employees. They can be able to share with the management and even the directors to make the work environment a better place.
So let's look at the other side of the coin. A HR professional joins a company where there is already an existing toxic company culture. Can you change a toxic company culture?
Yes and no. And the reason why I'm saying yes and no is because it depends with the source. Now, Cynthia will tell you this. If it's the directors, if the directors are the source of the negativity, you are fighting a losing battle. It's like pushing this wall.
Yeah.
So that you never change, because a lot of times as directors, business owners, board of directors, there's an ego issue, and someone might feel, oh, it's my way or the highway. And I've seen many HRs, you know, really mess up their careers, trying to change the impossible. So for me, I would say, look at the person you report to, the decision makers.
Yes.
I could make a mistake. I'm a normal human being. Maybe one day I shout, and you come and give me feedback. You tell me, oh, Wainaina, the way you give feedback to the staff is not the best way. So depending on my reaction, then you can be able to see, is this person open to feedback? Are they willing to change? Yeah. So it's really hard if the toxicity is coming from the top leadership. Yeah. If it's for the junior staff, I would say, please, you should deal with this at the earliest. And for me, it means put in measures to try and help the situation. Yeah. But if it doesn't work out, even if an employee is the best performer, please let them go at the earliest opportunity, because all they will do is mess up. It doesn't matter how good an employee is.
Yes.
Yeah. If they are the source of toxicity, it will affect all the other staff. Yeah. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for those tips, Paminas, and I hope you find these tips helpful. And for more tips about your HR career, please subscribe to this channel, share this video, leave a comment, and we will see you in the next video next week. Thank you.